Hey everybody, Jake and Mike here at Banner Engineering. We're here today to talk to you about the newest offering from Banner. This is called the DXM1200-X2 Gateway. This is a wireless controller and a wired controller.
It is.
Can you tell me a little more about this thing?
Absolutely. Now, picture a DXM-R90 and a DXM1200 wireless controller. We mash those together, and here we have the DXM1200-X2.
Sweet. So does that mean that I can do multiple topologies?
Absolutely. Let's
Wired
talk
and
about
wireless?
that. Wired and wireless, but let's talk about the features first.
Awesome.
All right, as mentioned before, this really is a DXM-R90 and a DXM1200 wireless controller all rolled up into one. You've got your 5 Modbus ports like the DXM-R90, so ports 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 0 down here. You also have your decode Ethernet cable right here for connecting to Ethernet networks. If you need to jump that network, you can use a cellular radio, and here's your antenna for that here on the left. You can also have the ISM radio network in here as well. So you're talking to not only wired networks, but also wireless networks, whether those are performance or multi-hop. You've got your LCD screen here, which you can configure XML to actually see data right on the display there. And we also have this new RGB indicator that you can configure for alarm states right here at the device.
That's awesome. So can I order this without the radio?
You sure can. There is a model number, just the DXM1200-X2. Which can just be your traditional gateway for wired Modbus lines.
Okay.
You also have the screen there so you can view your IP address when you need to.
And that's a little differentiator between that and the R90X1.
And the R90, right? So it's now, this really is your DXM R90, but with a display and an RGB indicator matched up right in the device.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we got a conveyor application today that we're solving with some vibration and some current monitoring, right? 2 standard Banner sensors usually that we offer in the wired world. That's the QM30 VT2 vibration sensor and an S15C CT-MQ current sensor. Right. So what we're doing is monitoring this motor here that moves the roller across for the conveyor. And as you can see, that's wired directly to a parallel block. That parallel block is going into one of the ports in the wired world of the DXM1200-X2. So I'm pretty familiar with that, but it's pretty cool though that I can do an extra aspect of indication here.
That's right.
Right. So this is really, I can actuate this light, alarm off this light using kind of the same logic that I could use with the DXM-R90X1.
That's right. It's something we haven't been able to do before with wireless controllers, right?
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But now what I don't understand is why do we have a little serial radio on the other side of it?
Well, let's talk about that. All right, on the other side of this conveyor, we actually have the same thing going on that we're monitoring right directly here at the controller. We're monitoring vibration and current over there, as well as indication of any alarm states, as Jake mentioned before. But in this particular case, we're not going to wire a serial Modbus line all the way to the other side of the conveyor. We're going to just cut that cable and make it wireless using these R70 nodes. So that's what we're doing over there. So we're actually not only monitoring directly here at the controller with the serial Modbus line, but we're also monitoring across the conveyor with the same thing, kind of a cookie cutter or copy paste of the same network, but wireless.
From my understanding, that is more of a simple wire replacement.
That's absolutely right. That's what Banner's really, really great at, and we're doing it again here with this controller. Again, we can monitor very quickly here with the wired Modbus line. So if you're looking to get, 1-second sample rates, things like that, you can do that here right at the controller. And then we're monitoring more condition monitoring on the other side with the R70 wireless monitoring node and that same network of sensors on the other side of the conveyor coming back to the controller.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that requires power on the other side of that R70 link.
That is correct. So in this particular case, where you do have available power, you want to use that R70 node. Again, copy that same set of sensors, but you can power that, which is why you can power that indicator over there as well. But what happens when you have something that's too far away or there isn't any power available? What can we do there, Jake?
I don't know, use a battery?
We can, and that's what we're doing even further down the conveyor. Let's take a look at that real quick. All right, so further down the conveyor, we are using a wireless performance node. So it's that CM1L that you may have heard of, which takes in the inputs of a current sensor as well as the vibration sensor.
It's the exact same job.
That's right. We're making those pockets of data islands and bringing them all back to the controller using several networks. Again, we're using a performance wireless network over there. If it were multi-hop, that we can absolutely do that. We can throw a multi-hop radio inside this controller as well. We could do it that way, so you can stretch all across your plant or wherever you might be using repeaters and things like that. We're doing that line replacement, wire replacement with the R70 nodes here, and then we're doing the wired version of it right here at the controller.
Now,
but again, we have that performance network using batteries for those places that doesn't have power readily available, or the location of the asset may be away from power like that.
Which is maybe why we're not indicating over there with one of those WOS lights.
Exactly. So where are we going to indicate that? We can actually indicate that alarm directly back here at the controller using the RGB indicator that comes inherent with that device. So again, we can understand what's going on within our operations with indicators and alarm states at any point in this, as well as back here at home, right at the DXM-X2.
And you solve a lot of problems in different ways, right? It's all
right.
subjective to the application,
Yeah.
right? But the power of this device is really, you're not limited to any topology.
I like to call it the no sacrifice device, right? We can do anything with this one controller. We're using one gateway to do this all. And if you threw a multi-hop radio in this thing, you could probably cover an entire plant, whether it's wired assets or wired monitoring or wireless monitoring. You can do that all with one controller.
That's awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
We really appreciate your time today. The X2 is an exciting product. I hope you guys check it out.